Hello, welcome to Roy's Book Reviews. Today I am going to discuss Blonde by Joyce Carol Oates. It's been a little bit since I left my last review here at Roy's Book Reviews because it took me quite a while to get through Blonde. This is not a commentary on its merits so much as its length. It's a rather long book. It'll take even fast reader some time to get through it, and I am not a fast reader, so it definitely took me some time, but I am glad that I went through it, and I can't say that I had any slow points. I read it surely and steadily. It just was a lot of pages to get through. The copy of Blonde that I read, I took out from the library, and has on the front cover a photo of a woman from behind. And even though you don't see her face, you can tell right away that it is Marilyn Monroe, or at least a depiction of Marilyn Monroe, someone pretending to be Marilyn. Perhaps it's a book cover model, but Marilyn has a very distinctive look, and you always know when it's her or an impersonator of her. So is Blonde a biography of Marilyn Monroe? No. Technically, it is a novel. Actually, it is a novel. It is a thoroughly researched, masterfully written work of fiction about a lot of things that really happened to a person that everybody knows plenty about. Being one of the most famous people of all time, there is no shortage of material written about her extraordinary life. Marilyn's meteoric rise to Hollywood stardom, not just in her own time, but for all time. She's one of the most famous people ever, as well as her tragic early death, makes for irresistible subject matter. Along with that, there is her riveting romantic life featuring high-profile marriages to Joe DiMaggio and Arthur Miller, plus a dalliance towards the end of her days with President Kennedy. Google books about Marilyn Monroe, and a mile-long list comes up featuring heavy hitters like Norman Mailer and Gloria Steinem. There's also the book My Story, written about Marilyn by Marilyn Monroe herself, along with Ben Hecht. Let us not forget the lovely song by Elton John that aptly describes Marilyn as a candle in the wind. Joyce Carol Oates perhaps takes the deepest creative dive into the world of Marilyn Monroe. The opening pages of Blonde take place when Norma Jean, which is a name she has from birth, is a baby. And the book closes with dramatization of her final breaths. Since Oates chose to approach Marilyn Monroe's life through the lens of fiction writing, the blanks that lack first-hand witnesses to verify what was said and done and felt are filled in by Miss Oates. Mostly written from first-person point of view. A window into Marilyn's thoughts and hopes and dreams is open, and what we readers see is a woman who led a glamorous existence, had many lovers, even if not nearly enough love, and was on a lifelong search for the father she never knew, and a quest to feel worthy of her mother's love. And while the world saw her as a blonde bombshell, worthy of adoration for the gifts of her beauty and sex appeal, Marilyn saw herself as an artist, desiring to expand her intellect and master her craft. On screen, we see her being funny and vulnerable and dangerously unhinged, and coy and innocent and naive and nurturing. Even those who have never seen one of her movies have superficial knowledge about the details of her brief time on Earth. Surely you've seen the image of her skirt being blown up by air from a subway grating. You know that her name is synonymous with blonde-haired, blue-eyed variety of sex appeal. But perhaps you did not know that much of Marilyn's childhood was spent in an orphanage because her mother was too mentally unstable to raise her. Perhaps you know of her marriages to one of the most famous baseball players ever, along with one of America's greatest playwrights. But like me, you may not have known about her first marriage that she entered as a teen after living in a foster home. The degree to which she was exploited by Hollywood power breakers who took advantage of her desire to be a movie star is heartbreaking revelation. Her unfulfilled desire to have and raise children meant that a happily ever after fairy tale ending kept eluding Marilyn, and so being the most desired woman in the world would be her consolation prize. Seeking validation from others is a guaranteed path to misery. Loving yourself for who you are does not come easily to everyone. What we all want is happiness, and the shape of particular sets of ambitions will cause people to chase after this or that or the other. Life teaches us all eventually that you can fail to achieve your goals, but nonetheless be happy. And you can accomplish everything you dream of and still be a tortured soul. If Marilyn Monroe managed to secure a more personal contentment, perhaps she would have acquired less fame and fanfare. Or perhaps not. She had it all, including an abundance of insecurity and loneliness. When the spotlight was on, she dazzled viewers. When it was off, the character of Marilyn Monroe was put away, and the reality of being Norma Jean was her burden to bear. This book, Blonde, was made into a miniseries back in 2001 and will soon be a movie on Netflix. You may have seen some of the advanced publicity for it. The Netflix movie was given a NC-17 rating, so parents of little ones will need to put them to bed before watching. I haven't seen the miniseries, but my expectations for the movie are high based on the quality of the source material. Joyce Carol Oates recently said some stuff on Twitter that rubbed me the wrong way, but that won't stop me from praising her talents as a writer, which I have done in this review. I'm not much of a grudge holder, and even if I was, I believe in separating the artist from the art. Blonde is an excellent work of prose. From reading it, I felt like I personally knew Marilyn Monroe, which means I feel like I'm one of the many who failed her. That's what excellent historical fiction does. It puts readers in that place, in that moment, in those shoes. Now that I'm done with Blonde, I find that what I wish to express has already been stated eloquently by someone else. Goodbye, Norma Jean. Though I never knew you at all, you had the grace to hold yourself while those around you crawled. I recommend Blonde to fans of big books. Even if you're an exceptionally fast reader, this isn't a novel that you're likely to polish off in a couple days. I also recommend it to people interested in the golden era of Hollywood. In 2022, anybody can snag a degree of fame by having a popular TikTok channel or something like that, but back in Marilyn Monroe's day, fame was reserved for the elite few. The diversity of this group lacked range, for sure, but back then there was a clear dividing line between regular folk and mesmerizing stars. Among them, none were bigger, none were brighter, even with the brevity of a career and lifetime, than Marilyn Monroe.